When I sit down with someone in clinic who's been struggling with that widespread pain, fatigue, and that feeling of feeling wired and tired all the time for years, classic fibromyalgia, they're usually looking for something that addresses the root of their physiological distress without adding more medications to their already full cabinet. Is that like you? Do you have a lot of supplements and all sorts and you've tried all sorts? It can be frustrating. Now, photobiomodulation, light therapy, is one that's gaining more and more research, and it has some pros and cons, so I want to share those with you. In this video, I'm going to cover quite a lot of things. I'll cover why and how does light therapy help your fibromyalgia, also 5 important signs to discuss with your practitioner, and also the risks and pitfalls of light therapy because it's not for everyone. Now, fibromyalgia is not just a pain issue. Got to make that really clear. When I look at those suffering, I see nervous system involvement too, and it's essentially lost its ability to self-regulate. Now, it's in a state of chronic sensory hypersensitivity where the volume of the pain signals, it's just turned all the way up and it's just blaring out. You probably feel that, very frustrating. While the body's internal repair mechanisms are running on empty, it's trying to repair at the same time, so it's in this battle. Recently, there's been a lot of interesting research regarding photobiomodulation. That's what I want to share with you. In the last 5 years, there's been some exciting things. And this is using specific wavelengths of light that help the body to heal at a cellular level because they penetrate the skin. Now, here is what I wish every patient knew about this technology and how it changes the conversation around fibromyalgia management. Now, the science behind it, at the most basic level, our cells produce energy in the form of ATP, and that's in the mitochondria. You probably know that because it's quite a well-established thing with fibromyalgia. But in fibromyalgia, we often see that mitochondrial dysfunction is just a matter of working out how to get that going with the magic things. Now, photobiomodulation works by shining specific wavelengths of red and near-infrared light that come from the sun, but this is in the machine of the light on the body. These light particles are absorbed by the enzymes in the mitochondria, and they effectively boost the energy production, and they also reduce oxidative stress. Now, thinking of it as giving your cells a jump start, like in the shock therapy, it's giving it a charge up. Now, what the trials have revealed from the last 5 years is researchers have been putting it to a lot of rigorous triple-blinded trials. They're quite good ones. And one set of studies include work published around 2023, 2024, specific utilizing whole body light therapy. And this is good because this is a step up from that localized laser treatment. If you've ever tried that for local pain points, tender points, it's whole body. Now, in these trials, participants weren't just reporting slightly lower pain scores, very exciting. They were seeing measurable results in their quality of life. We're talking about reduction in pain that lasts for months after the treatment finished. And one study followed participants for 6 months and found that those who received the photobiomodulation treatment showed significant changes in their self-efficiency, the belief that they actually had some control and they were making progress in their health again, getting back on track, which is really exciting, isn't it? Now, why do symptoms return? It's a common frustration I hear from patients. Why do my symptoms keep coming back? That's the question that I really trying to get to the bottom of and fix it. Now, often the reason is often we treat the symptoms, the pain, but we ignore the terrain. If you look at photobiomodulation to lower the inflammation and boost your mitochondrial energy, but what about your gut health if that's still compromised, or you're still exposed to heavy metals or hidden toxins in your environment? That charge, it just leaks away because there's other things to deal with. Now, how I think of it through the patient's case, when I see a patient, I ask, is the nervous system even capable of recovering right now? Put 2 people aside, we're all different. Someone might be able to, someone might not. But the light therapy might help with this. It calms the central sensitization, that alarm, and it gives you a little window of opportunity to address the underlying microbiome imbalance and nutritional deficiencies that are actually fueling the fire. 5 signs to discuss with your practitioner. Firstly, if you are wondering if biomodulation might be helpful for you for your specific journey, it's really important to ask your practitioner if these are relevant to you, or ask yourself, like tissue stiffness, is that a factor for you? If you feel like the fascia or the muscles are constantly hard and knotted despite regular stretching, that might be one for you. Cognitive fog, do you have a brain fog that just goes all through the day? Photobiomodulation isn't just for the muscles, it impacts the whole systemic inflammation that can help your brain fog. Kinesiophobia, that's where you're afraid of just a knock from anywhere, you're on high alert. Is that the case for you? Are you in fear you might just knock on the table and get a sore pain? If these things are holding you back, then these trials suggest photobiomodulation might be able to help you move forward and get your body going again. Sleep disruption. How is your sleep quality? Do you wake up tired even though you slept? If your fatigue is driven by the fact that your body never truly deep dives into restorative sleep, it might be for you. Lack of response to conventional approaches. Have you tried everything already and nothing seems to work? Or what about the dosages of things, or synergistic therapies to combine the effects? If you've tried the standard pharmaceutical route and feel like you're just managing side effects rather than healing, could phytobiomodulation be something that could help as well? An example patient I saw 5 years ago had tried everything. Classic, this fits this story really well. And after seeing me, she tried elimination diets, intense supplements, of course, all sorts of things on the internet, and everything. And the only thing she found that worked was this, actually. She was housebound and she couldn't get outside. So you see, getting in the sunlight could be a great fix for her, but she was staying inside and she wasn't getting exposed to those ultraviolet lights. And this thing gave her the leg up to step into the healing, and then gave her more energy to do more. And that was just what she needed. It also addresses the gut-brain axis. Ideally, getting outside to the natural sunlight is the best way when you're housebound, but you might not even be able to walk to the toilet, struggling with that, let alone get outside. The light therapy unit was a stepping stone to gain the healing and the energy bands that she needed to help with that excessive pain and movement. Now, the takeaway from these recent trials is that we're finally using technology that respects the biology of the body. It's thinking more about the bigger earth picture and more to it than just medicine. We aren't forcing the body to shut down. We're giving it the photons that it needs to repair its own membrane and calm its own inflammatory response. The literature from the last 5 years shows that phytobiomodulation is no longer just a fringe science. It's a valid evidence-based modality that can play a massive role in the bigger picture of healing. If you're tired of being told that your pain is just something that you have to live with, looking into these light-based interventions could be the next step for you in your own personal research. Now, when we're talking about healing, there's a natural tendency to want to isolate the magic bullet, taking one concentrated frequency of light and using it to force a biological response. In the clinic, I see this all the time. Get a herb, isolate it, take out the constituent and just use that. Or focus the light, get the spectrum, only use that. So we use we're thinking of the body as machine, but we're also using machines or pills and forget about the landscape and the holistic approach. Now, phytobiomodulation is a brilliant targeted tool compared to the sun, but when you compare the two, it's like comparing a single nutrient supplement to eating a whole garden fresh meal. Now, here's how I think through a patient's case when they ask if they can just swap out the phytobiomodulation sessions for time outdoors. When the sun hits your skin, it isn't just delivering red or near infrared light. You're getting the entire electromagnetic spectrum, including UVA, UVB rays, which trigger the vitamin D synthesis and the nitric oxide release for your blood pressure regulation, and a cascade of hormonal adjustments that we see. They're just the beginning. There's a lot more to the sunlight than that. The primary negative of phytobiomodulation is that it's a reductionist theory. And that's not a holistic approach, is it? Now, you're getting X frequencies at Y intensity for sure. It's effective, but it's incomplete. If you rely solely on the light pad or the laser and ignore the broader environmental signals provided by natural sunlight, you're missing out on the entrainment of your circadian rhythm, the training of it. Now, why symptoms return often stem from this disconnect. If your body doesn't know what time of the day it is because it's only seeing artificial light sources in your house, now even the therapeutic ones, your cortisol and your melatonin cycles remain disrupted, and that keeps your nervous system in a state of chronic alarm. Now, the overdose risk of photobiomodulation as well is an issue because the concentrated light source is coming from that machine. You run the risk of overstimulation. Now, in my experience with people suffering from chronic fatigue is that their symptoms are already fragile. If you hit a sensitive, inflamed system with too much concentrated energy, you can actually trigger a flare-up. That's called the Herxheimer reaction. You're getting a detox with that light coming in and you're firing up the mitochondria, and then it's pushing the system too hard. The body's reaction is to a high-powered device can be surprisingly aggressive. I've spoken with people on forums or on comments, etc., where they get a headache for a day after. They're just doing too much and they're getting the Herxheimer reaction, the detoxing reaction after a session, which is too long or too intense. The sun, by contrast, has a natural off switch. Your skin tells you when you had enough, right? You get a little bit red or sunburnt, and you get warm and you sweat and you turn pink. If you've got a biological feedback loop, that can protect you. With a machine, the feedback is often absent. You're already past the point of therapeutic benefit and you're still blasting yourself, then you might get some of those negative effects. Now, some things to consider with your practitioner. If you're weighing the benefits of photobiomodulation against the necessity of natural sunlight, look out for some signs. So, inverse sleep patterns. If you're getting a boost of energy at night but feeling foggy during the day, your lack of morning full spectrum light is likely the culprit, regardless of how much light therapy you use. Skin sensitivity, that's a key one as well. If you find you can no longer tolerate even a few minutes of sun, this is often a sign that high levels of oxidative stress in your body. It's a common pattern of autoimmunity as well. Now, we have to work with getting you into the sun because we can't just keep you inside all the time. Mood instability. The sun affects serotonin and dopamine via the eyes in the skin as well, in a way that light therapy in a box simply cannot replicate. Peripheral cooling. If your hands and feet are always cold despite warm ambient temperatures, if your family members say, oh, your hands are always cold, your body needs nitric oxide release triggered by broad spectrum exposure to improved microcirculation. A lack of hormonic stress. Photobiomodulation light therapy is passive. Sometimes the body needs the mild stress of the environment, the cold, the heat, the variation in the light to actually toughen up and build resilience. What I wish every patient knew is the truth is that the technology should be a supplement to your biology, not just a replacement for it. If you spend 20 minutes under a machine, a photobiomodulation panel, but spend the rest of the day in the basement of your office watching TV or something with no windows and blue light screens on your computer, you're essentially trying to patch a leaky boat where the hull is broken and crumbling and the water just keeps coming in. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a promising therapy and it definitely has a place for certain situations. But the sun provides a complex, rhythmic, and dose-controlled signaling system that the human body evolved alongside millions of years ago. Photobiomodulation therapy, light therapy, is exceptionally for targeting a specific area of pain or shining on a certain part of your body and clearing stubborn inflammatory pockets or recharging mitochondria as well. But please don't let it become your excuse to hide from the sun. Your health is not just about reducing pain. It's about reclaiming your role as an active participant in your own environmental world. Now, I'll put a link in the bottom for a unit that I recommend. Some are pretty dodgy out there, but I've got one. I'll put in the link. It's a nice size and I use it myself. To learn more about how safely to use your sunlight plan and learn more about things with your health, this is only just touch the surface of it. So please continue watching right here with this video.